Cody Johnson.
What's going on, boy?
Cody Daniel Johnson, if you're nasty.
Why you got to go there?
I don't know. Hey, how does this feel? First number one, and
2 weeks in a row.
Look at you.
It feels pretty good. But I told somebody the other day, actually it was Louis Messina, that we were at the George Strait concert in Houston. I took my wife and my kids. It was my kid's first concert. I'd take them to go see King George.
Wow.
He said, "How does it feel?" And I said, "Man, I'm trying not to celebrate the playoff victory." And he said, "Well, if this is a playoff victory, what's the Super Bowl?" I said, "I don't know. I'll let you know when I get there."
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a straight up TikTok answer right there. So, like, do you remember? There are some people who like really, I don't know, hold grudges or whatever. But do you remember all the people who said, "Oh, you're just a Texas guy. It'll never work nationwide."
Nobody wants that rodeo music.
I mean, it's just
I
too
remember
country.
It was, everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, no, it really was.
Yeah,
that's okay, man. It's okay. You know, that opinion and that mindset it's very outdated. I think it's been outdated, and it was one of those things where it's kind of like your wife. Sometimes it's better not to argue. It's just better shake your head and smile and go on about your business and go to work. So,
yeah.
You know, and I think that's what we did. Is I never really paid attention to that except for fuel for the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use it as inspiration. Don't let that negativity sink in.
Yeah, I've always, I don't know, but in those other people's defense, I will say this: there's been a lot of people who are predominantly a Texas artist, kind of pigeonholed as that tried and it didn't work. I'm trying to think. I mean, you got, I don't know. It's so splintered sometimes with music. And
why is it that some people get?
I mean,
obviously, you look at country music history, and there's a gazillion Texas artists, people who are from Texas. George Jones, maybe one of the greatest ever. George Strait. Why didn't those guys get pigeonholed as, oh, they're just Texas country?
Well, I can explain it to you. It's pretty easy. There was, you know, wherever Willie and Waylon, when Willie was kicked out of Nashville because he couldn't get a record deal, you know, he called Waylon Jennings and said, "Hey, come down to Texas. I found a place where the Cowboys and the hippies get along. You know, we can play live shows. They don't care about what Nashville thinks, so we're going to play down here." Well, that started the movement. Well, then you fast forward that movement into the days of like Pat Green and Corey Morrow. And Corey Morrow is one of my good friends, so I'll use him as an example. He sold T-shirts that said "Nashville sucks," and he sold millions of dollars worth of them because people wanted something different. They wanted something organic. They didn't want something that was controlled by a machine, and it created this screw Nashville mentality. Corey is also one of my first mentors that sat me down at a very young age and said, "Hey, don't ever say screw Nashville. You go play your brand of music and don't be pigeonholed to Texas. Don't let them change you. Don't let LA change. Don't just be yourself, and don't ever say screw Nashville. You need to go into Nashville and be yourself. Don't do what I did." And that spoke to me, you know, and I think that a lot of artists post that era tried to fly that flag of, "Well, screw you, I'm from Texas." Well, that's great, man. I'm very proud to be a Texan. Now, my kids are taking Texas history before they take U.S. history. We're weird down here, man. But, you know, I have a tattoo of Texas over my heart. But country music is country music. And whether the music comes from Texas, whether it's the bro country era we've just gone through, whether it's the synthesizers that Alabama used in the 80s, you know, I mean, like we've always had variables, but I think that what my goal has always been is to push through that, build my brand and build a brand of country music and try to be the guy that swings that pendulum back a little bit closer to what we're used to.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Well, it takes songs like this to break through sometimes, and that's why we're going to play your 2-week number one right now. It's Cody Johnson. We're coming right back.
Cody Johnson joining us. You can follow him and see where he is touring, all on his website, CodyJohnsonMusic.com. And looking forward to seeing the show and you know, kind of things that you do. You do anything weird? What's the weirdest thing that they came to you and said, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?"
So my set list is like sacred. Like that's what me and my 11, almost 12-year fiddle player, Jody Bartulo, that's what we do, is we make the set list. So like we kind of get everybody's opinion, and then we sit down and we have our own little weird process that we go through of what works and what doesn't work and why that's not going to work. And, we've never really discussed pyro. We've never really discussed, stuff like that because we're just, we're a little different. But I did have someone from the record label ask me during a certain time period a couple of years ago to stop giving my troop salute on stage because I mentioned police officers.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Seriously?
But, and they had a great defense of why, because there was when you say, at this point in time, when you say police officers, it's a trigger word. It was during the whole George Floyd incident. But you know what? I just said, look, you're not always going to be everybody's favorite. Just leave it up to me to say things politically correct. And if I screw it up, you can spat me on the hand. But if I don't, let me
again,
do it.
it's also that to me, that kind of thinking is what the problem is, because we have so many people who judge everybody upon the actions of one or a few. Whenever you talk about country music, there are country singers who have done some deplorable, horrible things. So does that mean all country singers are bad? No, it just you can't do that, and you have to concentrate on what's good and what's positive, and spread the love. I think the problem is people just love to divide instead of loving to love.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you'll love what I've been saying in my show lately. Is part of my troops. It's not just about troops. It's about America. It's about us as a people, because no matter how different we all are, religion, politics, whatever your viewpoint is. When it hits the fan, we're all in this deal together, and we're all born and bred of this American heritage that we're going to have to stick together. We're not going to be able to divide. So I've been saying, you want to do something crazy? Why don't you try to love somebody anyway? Meaning, you have a problem with that person's viewpoint, but just love them anyway.
Yep.
You think, that hate that you have and that division you have is not going to keep you out of the grave at the end of the day. So love somebody anyway. It's a much more peaceful way to live.
Yeah. And it'll extend your own life. You won't have all that stress from worrying about what someone said on Twitter that got you all riled up.
Well, y'all have been talking to me for years. I don't pay attention to that crap.
No. All right. Cody Johnson's with us. We'll take a break and come back to talking more with Cody. Just a minute. Hang on. Cody Johnson is with us. You can find him online, CodyJohnsonMusic.com, and all his social medias as well. Also, find out where he's touring, get your tickets, and go see a show. Hey, speaking of, I know you do like private shows, like
corporate events?
Nah, I mean some really rich dude is like a crazy hardcore fan and is willing to pay whatever it is to have you come out to his ranch and play. I don't know, 1 song, 5 songs, or
this is my wife's favorite song. It's her birthday.
What have you? How much does that cost?
He's saying
it's a lot.
What's your price?
All right, we'll throw out some figures.
I'm going to see you this way. I booked about 4 of them bad boys this year because I was like, man, that's pretty nice. I got to do what? I got to play 10 songs acoustic.
Wow.
We're going to play you in private. All right, well, I can do that. I can still make the team open on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to give up your whole weekend.
Yeah. What about? Yeah. Hey, would you ever do an OnlyFans?
What is that?
What is that? That's exactly
the best answer you could have had.
That's the answer we were looking for.
I'm not falling into that trap. I'd have to answer so many questions when I got home. My wife
it's his OnlyFans. And he's playing Nothing on You. That's your song for OnlyFans.
You save that for the point of your career when things are going the opposite direction.
Yeah, right. Hey, listen, congratulations, man, on the number 1. It's you're too much of a gentleman to throw a finger up to the establishment and you're just kind of doing your thing. But I know deep down there is a little bit of what's that Ledoux when he puts his hat up? You see that big old Texas grin.
Well, that's right. We're here, baby.
I know you've put a lot of work, and it's paying off, man. Congratulations to you.
It just also shows that you can put up with the frustration if you don't quit. If you are there and you're gonna you set your mind to it, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
That's right. That's the mentality you got to have if you want to do this thing for a long time. And that's what I think. We talked about the Super Bowl a couple of breaks ago. I think that's my Super Bowl is whenever we look back and we go, all right, I think I'm done. Like, I think I've done my part in helping change country music for the better. I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
That's a long time from now.
I hope so. I hope it is a long time away. Cody Johnson, everyone. Find him online, CodyJohnsonMusic.com. Cody, we'll see you soon, brother. Congrats again.
Hey, thank you guys, man. Much love. Appreciate it.
See you, brother. Bye.
If you like that, make sure you check out more videos over here.
Yeah, and then you can subscribe right over there on his belly. Click on his belly. He goes, woohoo!